take accountability for your actions, big chunk of accountability is connection with others, sharing with others what the plan is, allowing them to give you feedback. And that's all high level stuff. And I'd love to, as I'm in a room full of leaders, hear what you guys are pulling from chapter line on taking accountability for your actions. What do you guys have?
The first thing that hit me, or the one that hit me the strongest, was failure to hit a bullseye is never the fault of the target. And I love that. And I've heard that before, but it's also, if you never take a shot, that's hardly leadership, but it's accountability keeps me consistent. There's so much to it. And I've gone out of my way to, like, I meet with Mark fairly often and be with these other two guys every Tuesday. And the thing that he added at the end, I know I'm touching on a bunch of different things, but that he said, of the things that we've covered, is there anything that you lied about that we need to go back and revisit? And even so, I mean, here's somebody that we put up on a pedestal, Maxwell, who's, a minister, a priest, not a priest, but a preacher. And when he says, "Oh yeah, I did lie about that," you just don't expect that reality.
Can even be a lie of omission, not actually, speaking what you have to speak. In fact, I suspect that's the biggest one of all that we deal with. It's not that we speak a truth, it's that we don't speak up. So, client, you had something, Dad? What do you got?
Well, I think that speaks very succinctly to prior chapters on humility. Listening to him say that did this in my eyes as far as he's concerned. It raised him up a little bit because it said he's humble, he's human, and the prior chapters that he wrote have key relevance in regards to what he actually said. So in my head, that says, okay, he's real. I'll take that any day.
Well, he absolutely is real. I've seen him face to face, and he's absolutely, like you say, authentic. There was an entire chapter on that. And it's kind of fun to sit down and listen because he'll go into the authentic piece. I actually had the opportunity back in March to spend 90 minutes in a small room with him going through these 12 chapters. And he talked a lot about he spent like 3 minutes just listing all the things he screws up at, all the places he falls short, and just owning it. It's okay. We have the things that we put time on, the things we haven't, the gifts we have, the things we don't. Whatever that is for you, the key here is 1, embrace it. And then 2, be accountable for it. In fact, I'd love for somebody to bring in that key piece, gifts versus choices. It was a great piece of the content. Celeste, what do you got?
Well, you guys, I'm on chapter 10. Are you guys on the same chapter?
No, we went 9.
Oh,
you jumped 1 ahead. Yeah, we did
sorry.
1 through 4 in week 1, 2 through 8 in week 2, and we're going to do 9 through the end of the book this week.
All right. Well, never mind.
Never mind. She'll go back. Well, all you have to do is go back and look at your highlights. And I love, again, that you're a leader and you're always a chapter ahead. Mark, your mic's hot. What do you got?
Well, Russ, I'll be honest. I haven't gotten there. I'm just kind of here for the ride. But I love the conversation around responsibility. I heard Robert Kiyosaki say years ago, this is off the subject a little bit, but along the same lines, I think that you either take full responsibility. There's only 3 things you can do. Take full responsibility, or blame or justify your behavior. Blame somebody else, the government, whatever. Or justify your behavior based on, entitlement or some crap like that. Or take 100% responsibility of your situation.
Well, on this 100% responsibility, I want to go to page 159. This was key to me. I highlighted it. I wanted to make sure we were all on it.
I do have the book. See.
Well, that's good. That's step 1, brother. Step 1. How will we know that we are being accountable? How will we know we're being authentic? Number one, we will keep our word. We will say what we mean and do what we say. We trust the word of others to be good as well. Number two, we will be on time. We will respect others by not wasting their time by making them wait on us. Number three, we will make things right. We will apologize, forgive, and ask for forgiveness. Man, that's one I see a lot of people struggling with, especially in interpersonal relationships. Yeah. Number four, we will seek truth. We will discourage rumors and gossip and quickly work to separate facts from fiction. Number five, we will be mature. We will value the perspective of others and resist seeing things only from our own point of view. And finally, number six, we will celebrate. Well, there's actually 9. Final on this page. We will celebrate others. We'll be glad and point to and applaud the successes of our peers. Number 7, we will not make excuses. We will place responsibility on ourselves instead of blaming situations or others or the market for our problems. Number 8, we will look out for others. We will hold each other accountable because we want the best for others and ourselves. And finally, number 9 of the full set, we will accept consequences. We understand that our actions or inactions have consequences, and we will learn from them. Imagine those 9 just become central to your life. Just those 9. Central to your kids' lives. Just those 9. What else?
One thing that he said in there was choices lead and feelings follow. I think so many of us, probably all of us in some form or fashion, wait till it feels right before we do it. Yeah, I'm going to make that call when it's the right time for me. And another thing he said, the pathway to taking accountability is for your actions. Pathway is courage. And I think, as I think about agents that I'm a mentor for, it becomes clear, it becomes just readily apparent to me that let me read it again. The pathway to taking accountability is for your actions is courage. And so I think they're waiting for that to feel right instead of understanding it's like a race. You can't win a race, but if you don't get to the starting line, but you can't win the race if you don't go when the opportunity is there, when the gun sounds, that kind of thing. So choices lead and feelings follow. That was just really important to me.
I love that feeling thing. I love that feeling thing because I think, Tom, that feeling thing has done more to hurt more professionals. I don't feel like this. I don't do that. When we operate in terms of principle, and I learned last week, letting your actions lead your actions should be dragging your feelings by a rope, by the neck. Because if it does that, the feelings have no choice but to go where your actions are, and as men, ladies, not to be weird or anything like that, but as men, we're action orientated, and many times we're not that touchy feely, but when we are, man, that's when some of the biggest mistakes happen as men, because we kind of jump out of the window and we're hugging our feelings. And when we know, hey, I need to do this is the action I need to take. But feelings rise up and we mess up every time.
And I'll give you an example of how, and I agree with you. I worked at American Airlines for quite a while, and we had a softball league, co-ed softball league. anyway, fast forward to now. Recently, I found out one of our speed demons that played in the outfield moved back to Connecticut. He has ALS and he's lost the ability to speak. And I kind of just thought, well, I should wait. And then instead of waiting, to hoping I would hear something from him because he still can, type and stuff like that. I reached out to him and I reached out to the entire softball team from 1999 that I could find, but everybody but two, and didn't hear anything until this morning. He wrote and he's like, "Hey buddy, move back to Connecticut. I can't speak. I hope you're living life like you always talked about." And I think had I just gone with, "Oh, he doesn't want to hear from me," or "How's he going to communicate with me?" he just would have faded away. But instead there's been a connection, and that's just been a huge, fantastic start to the week.
Tom, can I have a little more fun?
What? Can you have more fun?
Can I have some more with you in this moment? Will you allow me to
Sure.
ask you an interesting couple of questions? What was his statement about you? I hope
you're having fun.
No, there was something else too.
I hope
I
you
have
were
to-
living the life I think that you said that you wanted to live or something. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
made an impact on him of some type.
So are you living that life?
I'm doing better over the last 4 weeks than I was before.
Amen. Are you living that life?
So I'm not where I want to be. No.
What would it be like to allow him to hold you accountable? What would it be like to respond? You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm not. Can I share
do
with
it.
you? Can I share with you what I'm going to get done this week? And will you check in with me at the end of the week to make sure I've done it?
Ooh, I'll do it.
He might be a great accountability partner. Plus, it very well may be a huge gift to him because I suspect
Yes.
no one at this
Yes.
moment, everybody's treating him as a subordinate, as a project, as someone who needs our help,
A China
versus
egg.
someone who needs to lead.
I
You're gonna
love
put him
that
in a
idea,
leadership
Russ.
role.
I think that is
Judy-
an amazing idea.
Judy, I saw your mic go hot, my dear. What did you have you wanted to share?
Yeah, it was a couple things ago, but I don't think it hurts to go back. Before you read the list of 9 things, I was going to share from page 157, the lead in to that. Until you take responsibility, you are a victim. And being a victim is the exact opposite of being a leader. Victims are passive, they are acted upon. Leaders are active, they take initiative to influence the outcome.
You know
That's
what's
all.
fun about
That's what
this
I share.
this path to victimhood, path to accountability, which we've seen in many spaces for those of us that have hung out for a while. Path to victimhood is easy. Back to victimhood is the norm that we see in the world. This accountability means responsibility plus. In other words, owning everything. The market that we're in has nothing to do with your level of success. 100% of your success or failure is you.
What you do. Yep.
And even before that, Judy, the step before that, the choices you make.
Correct.
If you're making great choices every day, success is going to show up. If you're, as client, when you not listening to the feelings, making the choice you know you should be making, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're scared to do it for who knows what reason, that's the path to high level success. That's the path to high road leadership. Who else has something?
I have a question.
Go, Dorothy.
If people are motivated by ALS, I don't know if I shared this with this group. I did share it with another. I have a friend of a friend who right now is diagnosed with ALS. They have a GoFundMe account. And my email is dorothy.manning@exprealty.com. If you would like to contribute $5 to that, please let me know.
Awesome. Love that. You brought that up last week as well.
I didn't get any donations.
And that's okay too.
Yep. But I'm just giving them a second
Yep.
chance.
That is okay too. People get to follow their hearts and make their choices about what's important to them. And it'll show up. What else you guys have from the content? Share it, Celeste.
I am finding myself highlighting pretty much every single paragraph. I think a lot of this should be read twice, 3 times. And of course, for me, I'm picking out that until you take responsibility, you are a victim, whether you want to be or not. And are we being victims simply because we're not showing up? Are we not taking responsibility for what's happening in our lives? And, I've always thought of myself as somebody who is extremely responsible. I'm organized. I feel like I'm a leader, but when I think about how things are happening, am I really being responsible? I mean, I have to ask that question. And by the way, this is another concept that I think I really want to help anybody who's in this room. If you're not asking more questions, you'll never grow from this. Russ constantly is drilling into me. Did you tell the people that, or did you ask them? Whatever. And I've found myself realizing I do a lot of talking. I'm always talking instead of asking. The leaders are asking questions, so people will self-discover. So
It's one of my favorite things when I'm helping you guys on a transaction. And you tell me how things went awry, and then you say, and I told them this, and I told them this, and I told them this. And I'll say, and that's exactly what you did wrong. What? You told them everything versus asking.
yeah.
Question driven. Leaders ask questions. Leaders come from curiosity. If you're telling, are you already in judgment?
Yes.
Can I just add to that? It's not leaders, but it's effective leaders ask questions.
Yes.
High road leaders ask questions. So what else? This is my question to you guys, because I love when you speak up. What else do you have from the content?
All right. Well, this is the follow-up to what I just said. Page 157, right? The second paragraph from the end, and it says, and like most things in life, the more you practice accountability, the better you will become at it. And I can't say enough how simple that line is. The most things in life, the more you practice accountability, the better you will become at it. It's not being accountable, it's accountability. It's an action verb. I just think we all should be doing more of that. And I think if we did, let's just say this. Let's just pretend that we do 1% more than we're doing what we did yesterday. 1%. And then tomorrow you do 1% more than that. Before you know it, you're going to be moving your business along like it's hot, like you actually have business. What's that all about?
Tom is the great poster child of this, getting in a better environment, doing the work a little bit each day and getting the momentum cranking. Like he said earlier, man, life's much different than it was 4 weeks ago because he's plugged in and leaned in. And that's awesome. And I want to go to accountability one more time, because there was another piece of Celeste that really rang with me. Accountable is in the moment. I'm going to be accountable for right now. Accountability is in the past. I'm actually going to own my stuff from previous. I'm going to acknowledge my shortcomings. I'm going to set aside my arrogance and realize that, you know what, there's places I get to be better, and be totally transparent about that.
You said own my stuff, which I really appreciated, because you didn't say, I'm going to own my mistakes. You're just owning you. And so here's this great example for me. I went to a Grant Cardone event and I figured, well, I'll probably not go to this again. And I'm just going to go in and be able to be front row Joe, pay for all that stuff. And so when I got there, I went walking to the front and the ushers came and said, oh, no, you're back there. And it's like, no, I paid. And he goes, well, go back and get the right badge then. So I went all the way back and I was ready for a fight. I was ready to just, let's go. And I don't get mad well. And so I got up there and I was like, listen, I paid whatever I paid and I'm supposed to be up on the front 3 rows. And the first thing she said was, it's completely my fault. Fell off. I mean, my legs for the fight fell over and she said, here you go. We've got it fixed. But I mean, that was before she even typed in my name to do any research. Completely my fault. And that's one of the scripts, the lines, whatever, that they're taught to use. But it really just takes the fire out of it. And it makes your heart open up and go, oh, here, this is going to, and that's also part of great leadership. I wonder what I did wrong. Let's figure that out so that I can make sure and take care of your best interest.
Yeah. Yep. And I love that. You guys might have written that down. It's completely my fault.
She disarmed you, didn't she?
Every
got you,
time
man.
a client, a consumer of yours gets worked up, if that was your first response, damn it, the title company has not gotten me the title report yet. You know what? That's completely my fault.
And let me just, I have used that. And there's something, I don't have the book. I've just been listening to it, but he says, just own it and lead and whatever. And so I have used that. And the more that's what he was saying, apologize when you make a mistake and you'll get better at it. Not better at not making mistakes, but better at apologizing. And so I have used, it's completely my fault. And I've told people about that and they're like, are you out of your mind? You're going to get sued. No, it's completely my fault. I should have whatever, it's very helpful. Since I'm going to do this thing with Kevin, I triple dog dare everybody in the audience to do it's completely my fault at least 3 times today.
Wow.
That's something my daughter is sitting here doing some work on her computer. And one of the things, something happened the other day. And I said, Kendra, I'm sorry. But I also want you to learn something. As a dad and as a man, I want you to see me say I'm sorry. It's critically important because you're right. In society, man, weakness is in saying I'm sorry. But I think if our kids and our family and the people who we love and trust and people who we work with see our saying I'm sorry, I think that goes so far. So of course, now what I get to do is hold my kids as responsible because, hey, dad said sorry. So when you do something wrong, I expect that reciprocally. So
but I didn't do anything wrong, Dad.
Well, you sure didn't do anything right. Choices lead.
Man,
Choices lead and feelings follow.
The
oh,
joys
like
of
that.
change.
Thank you. Say that again.
Well, that's in the book, but choices lead, feelings follow.